Welcome to a team selection video for Game Week 27. Now, Game Week 26 is still going on. It is the biggest double game week of the season and of all time, I'm pretty sure. But pretty decent start. A few blanks, or should I say quite a lot of them, but I'll go into it. It's very up and down, and I have gone up in rank quite significantly, which is a good thing. I was around 150k before the game week started, now around 116k, and obviously with my captaincy, if I get a performance in the second game and I generally do alright with the rest of the team, then yeah, should be fine. But I'll go straight into it. I did activate my bench boost this week, and pretty mixed bag, and I'll be explaining why, but we'll show that in a bit. Martinez in goal, double digits. This guy is just, I mean, I said it from even game week 3, game week 4, when he just kept on producing. I wanted to get him in instantly, and I did on a wild card. And yeah, it's just one of the best transfers I made all season. Obviously, a bit of a simple one, but a lot of people are still going without him. If we check his ownership, he's 39% owned, which is the highest he's been this season, I'm pretty sure. But still, over half the game don't own him. So it's still, I wouldn't say a differential, but it's good to have him, especially compared to those who just still are going without him or who just sold him. And Aston Villa have been poor defensively. I did think that Leeds would score, but it wasn't the case. So now, a double Villa clean sheet is on the cards here in the double game week. So if you double up with Target as well, or Conso, all these players, then yeah, you're in for a treat, I'm pretty sure. Even if they don't get the clean sheet against Sheffield, you'd expect a few points from Martinez there. So pretty happy with him. My defence has been good overall. Obviously, Cancelo didn't play, which is a bit of a shame. I thought he could have done well. And you know, Pep is such a troll, seriously. He was literally talking before the game, talking about his regeneration, talking about how he could literally be fit whenever, and he could play against West Ham easily. And what does he do? He benches him. So yeah, just Pep is he's a tough nut to crack. But Stones, you know, West Ham did score a goal, but Stones scored a goal, so yeah, very happy with him. Double digits. Same with Diaz, the exact same number of points. If you had both of them, then fair play. I mean, you're laughing really. And there's something about Manchester City centre backs in the double game week, especially this season. And Stones once again coming clutch, and yeah, he's just a great asset. Very happy to have him. So yeah, John Stones doing the business for me as usual. Wan-Bissaka got the clean sheet against Chelsea, and to be honest, I'll be talking about my captaincy very soon, but I pretty much anticipated a 0-0 in this game. So why did I captain Bruno? I'll be talking about that shortly, but happy with Wan-Bissaka, and yeah, I think both teams maybe had some chances. United should have had a penalty, arguably you could say. But yeah, very tight game. No one really pushed for it, and the big players went missing. But it doesn't help when both teams were set up rather defensively. And Man United, there's just the good thing about having a Man United defender even during their tough run is that they are so defensive in a lot of these games. Apart from the 6-1 against Spurs, 0-0 pretty much in every single other game against the top six other than Arsenal. But even then, there was a 1-0 from a penalty. So Man United are, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Defensively, they have good underlying stats. But when they face the weaker teams, when you'd obviously play your Wan-Bissakas and your Shaws, that's when they don't really keep the clean sheets that you want. And then when you probably bench them against Chelsea or whatever, that's when they start getting returns. But they do have Manchester City after Crystal Palace in Game Week 27, so there is a possibility or an argument to get rid of these Man United defenders regardless. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet there. But moving on to the midfield, I might as well talk about Bruno Fernandes. Why would I captain someone who I have a feeling that they draw 0-0 in the first game, and he's an attacker, obviously? Well, to be honest, I thought if anything that he gets in the Chelsea game basically is a bonus. And to be honest, if they did get the penalty, he would have been on for 8 points or more. But obviously, sometimes it just doesn't go the way that you want or that it should. But with Bruno Fernandes, I thought if United are a bit more adventurous, unlike all the other games against the Big Six this season, and they exploit Chelsea's weaknesses, they could score 1 or 2 goals, and they have a very good record recently against Chelsea, especially at Stamford Bridge. But in the end, Bruno blanked and really was ineffective during the game. But the Palace game is where you expect him to get the returns. If he doesn't, then obviously it's a captaincy failure. And my vice-captain, Son, did the business. 11 points with 2 assists. So yeah, he was the one I probably should have captained, but I did actually have the vice captaincy on Salah, and then I switched it last minute to Son. And yeah, sometimes, I mean, all season, or should I say in a lot of weeks this season, my vice captaincy or my vice captain outscores my captain. So I'm not too surprised there. I don't expect too much from the Fulham game for Son, but I do expect something against Palace for Bruno Fernandes. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. They could end up getting the exact same number of points, but we'll have to wait and see. It's too early to tell. Gundogan did blank, but it is what it is. I think, obviously, now with 2 blanks in a row and also blanked in the Champions League, people will be looking at it and saying, oh, maybe he's not the asset that he once was. People might not be captaining him in Game Week 27 when they have a double game week. I still think he's worth considering for that. But I do think he's going to be benched against Wolves, or there's a possibility of that. Same with John Stones. So, yeah, Manchester City, I just hope that I'd be happy if 2 out of the 3 play in the next game. But yeah, there is a chance that it's 1, even 0. You know how Pep is, but I'm pretty sure Cancelo will play in the next one. But yeah, with Gundogan, I'm not too sure about him as a captaincy option now, but still, I wouldn't completely rule him out just because of a few blanks. He is, after all, very good for his price. And then Salah, he had chances. I nearly said Dean Henderson. Ramsdale was making plenty of saves in the first half. But yeah, Salah, I don't know. His record against the bottom teams this season has been poor. It's mainly against the bigger sides where he's been doing well, and a lot of them are penalties. So there is an argument, maybe we should sell him, but he is still the top scorer this season in terms of actual goals. So he is leading the Golden Boot race there, and he can get some assists. And Liverpool did look better against Sheffield, although Sheffield did have a lot of injuries, and it is Sheffield after all, or should I say Sheffield United. But yeah, with Salah against Chelsea at home, not expecting too much, but he could score a goal, but I don't see his ceiling being too high, and that's the reason why I didn't captain him, and it's a good thing I didn't triple captain, obviously. Unless I triple captain Son this week, I pretty much would have probably regretted it overall. Antonio, there was obviously a debate of, because I'm playing my bench boost, why don't you just bench Antonio, whatever. And yeah, theoretically, I would have benched Antonio if I wasn't playing my bench boost this week. But because I am playing my bench boost, I literally just set my team out as having all my latest transfers on the bench. Didn't really matter anyway. I did gain Antonio's points, but doesn't matter. At least he scored. It would have been a disaster if West Ham had scored from another place, or should I say from another source, and City lost their clean sheet. But yeah, I got the best possible result from that game for Manchester City, apart from Cancelo and Gundogan, but it is what it is. Calvert-Lewin blanking against Southampton, and yeah, it doesn't matter if he got the pass before the pass for the goal for Richarlison. Doesn't matter. Pretty poor there from Calvert-Lewin. You're hoping for something against West Brom, but I don't know. West Brom look a bit better defensively, although they should have conceded against Brighton. I don't know how they didn't. But yeah, Calvert-Lewin, very disappointing. Richarlison, anyone who has him, great differential. And a lot of people were asking me, should I go from Richarlison to Calvert-Lewin, especially on a -4? And I said no, it's a sideways move. Obviously, if it was a free transfer and he had nothing else to do, I would still advocate getting Calvert-Lewin over Richarlison, better long-term asset. But it was definitely not worth a -4 to do a sideways move like that. And yeah, in the end, Richarlison outscored him pretty comfortably. Bamford, another blank, and obviously I'm not getting any more points out of him. So very disappointing there. But it is what it is, and Leeds are very up and down. They can have a very good game, and then they can have just a really poor one. So I'm not too surprised there. And looking at my bench, very mixed bag, as you can see here. Yeah, it's not looking like the greatest of bench boosts, but I am happy with Digne, 6 points, and he could get something against West Brom, whether it's an assist, a clean sheet, or maybe both. Harvey Barnes is the big disappointment of this week, and obviously of no fault of his own. When he was on the pitch, maybe had a few moments against Arsenal, but Arsenal were by far the better team. And then he got injured, and it is a big shame. Hopefully he gets well soon. But yeah, I have to get rid of him now. He's out for 6 weeks. I brought him in on a -4. Brought him and Digne in, and unfortunately Barnes didn't pay off. And I probably want to get Grealish back in now, and I lost value in him, but it is what it is. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, but you can't do anything. Dallas didn't get a clean sheet or anything against Aston Villa, and yeah, Leeds are just very up and down, but he was the hero for me last week, Dallas. So can't complain too much. He's not going to get 17 points every week. Obviously, that wasn't my expectation going into this one, but I thought we could get maybe an attacking return or a clean sheet. Didn't happen. It is what it is. And Pope, to be honest, have to look at the bright side. He conceded 4 goals, yet got a point. Hopefully against Leicester, they can keep a clean sheet now that Barnes is out. But obviously, I'm not expecting that. But really, Digne has done well, and Pope could do something, but it's ultimately not looking like a very good bench boost. And if Barnes had that second game, then I'd be very confident and this would look like a good bench boost, maybe 20, 30 points, maybe more. Right now it's looking very unlikely, but at least it's out of the way and I can start drawing money out of my bench and putting it into my starting lineup. But that's the plan anyway. And looking into game week 27, this is how I am lined up. And of course, City do have that double game week. They're the only team to have one. And in terms of transfers, I'll be discussing that very shortly, but really they're all planned towards game week 29. I don't have my free hit, so what I want to do is build towards that game week and start adding more of those game week players in. But at the moment, probably might take a hit even this week, although it might not seem logical this week, but I will be taking it eventually, whether it's in 28 or 29, and I could have up to 9 double, or should I say blank game week players in 29, so that's something I am looking at. Martinez will be starting in goal rather than Pope, so that's what I will be going for. My defence at the moment is Dallas, Stones and Cancelo. Could even arguably captain Cancelo, but his rotation risk is what puts me off. Gundogan captain at the moment, although Salah is potentially someone I could go for, and if not, I think Heung-min Son. And I did say this even for the Game Week 26 fixtures. I said because of how heavily captain Kane is going to be, I think Son is being overlooked. And obviously I did make him vice captain, but it doesn't matter. I didn't make him captain in the end. But Son once again could be overlooked against Palace. I think he could do very well. And Bruno Fernandes against City away, I'm not too interested. And although against West Ham in Game Week 28, I think he could do something, there is an argument for getting rid of him and then getting him back in for Game Week 30 when he faces Brighton. And that's what I might do. Obviously, I'm not completely settled on that idea. Calvert-Lewin against Chelsea away, I don't know. Everton are just a very hit and miss team, especially offensively. And Chelsea are very solid defensively. So if I do make the transfers that I'm planning on making, then Calvert-Lewin would go to the bench. Antonio against Leeds is very good, and that's one of the main reasons why I kept Antonio was that fixture, and he did well against City, so very happy with that, and happy to keep him. Hopefully he doesn't suffer from fatigue or any other muscle-related injuries. And Bamford against West Ham away, hopefully one of them, or if not both of them, that would be the ideal thing, get some returns, and then Dallas scores as well, but maybe being too optimistic there. But my captaincy most likely will be between Cancelo, Gundogan, Stones, and if not, Salah or Son. I'm not looking anywhere else. Even for my new transfers, I'm not going to be considering them. My bench at the moment is like this. Obviously, Barnes is out for 6 weeks. I've got to get rid of him. And I've got Pope, as I discussed before, Digne and Wan-Bissaka. But here, it's not too much of a benching headache anyway. If, let's say, Man United get a 0-0 draw against City and Wan-Bissaka gets 6 points, it is what it is. There's not much you can do, but it's very unlikely that is going to happen with this form that Manchester City are in. But I'm looking at it now, and obviously the kind of logical thing is just to get rid of Barnes and replace him with Grealish, but I don't have enough money to do that reverse switch. I literally have 0 million in the bank. But what I am thinking of doing is getting rid of Wan-Bissaka and either Barnes or Fernandes, and that's when I'll probably bring in either Rafinha or Grealish. Obviously, I don't think I can afford Grealish also with the other player that I have in mind to replace Wan-Bissaka, so I'll have to get rid of Bruno Fernandes for that. So that is something I'm considering. I'm going to take the hit now because it is a double game week as well, a small one. And I don't want to take the hit in Game Week 29. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but you know what I mean. The plan is to get Lewis Dunk, if possible, for Wan-Bissaka. And if not, I could just get Ben White and I can just get Grealish for Barnes and then leave it at that. And then get rid of Bruno Fernandes or Salah ahead of Game Week 29. And that's when I get in Grealish. That's if he is fit. And obviously, that's a big question mark. If Grealish isn't fit, I'm not going to bring him in. But another thing I can do, despite Leeds not having the greatest fixtures in the build-up to 29, is getting Rafinha in. And Barnes to Rafinha makes perfect sense. I add another blank Game Week 29 player, and that's what I'm looking at the moment. And then if I do get rid of Salah or Bruno, although I do have a lot of money tied up in them, that allows me to also get Kane in, and I could do Calvert-Lewin to Kane in Game Week 29, and then I'll shortly afterwards add wildcard maybe in Game Week 30, if not in one of the other weeks, 31, 32 or 33, that's for sure. And there's also that blank game week in 33 for Spurs and City, so keep that in mind. There's a lot of things to keep into account. There might be a double in game week 32, as well as 37, and maybe a few others, maybe 35. So obviously it's looking very far ahead, but you've got to have these things in mind when looking at your transfer plans and how you're going to tackle future game weeks, and then how you're going to go out of that game week, because realistically I don't want to have some of these players like even triple leads. I wouldn't want to have that, especially in game weeks I think 30, or should I say 31 and 32, when they have Liverpool and Manchester City. Game week 30 triple leads is good. They have Sheffield United. But yeah, that's looking very far ahead. But my transfer plans at the moment is taking a -4, and then my other transfers going into the future will just be free ones to add even more Blank Gameweek 29 players. And at the moment, I'm looking at either Dunk or Ben White and Rafinha. And depending on if he's fit, Grealish, some of those players will be coming in, 2 of them to be exact. But we'll have to wait and see. I may change my mind. And then going forward, yeah, the likes of Kane can come in. But yeah, that's how I'm looking at the moment. Blank Gameweek 29 isn't the focus, but in terms of transfers it is, but not overall. I also want to tackle these game weeks 27 and 28 in the best way possible. And I'm pretty happy with the team I have set up here. Obviously, it's not the greatest, but it could be worse. So that's how I'm set up for game week 27 and my plans going up until game week 29. Let me know what yours are down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate it. Every subscription, comment, everything helps the channel a lot. So I really appreciate it. And tell me if you like the new setup, obviously with these color schemes which show the fixture difficulties, and obviously if you hover over them it tells you the fixtures exactly. It also tells you their form without having to go on it, and you can literally just set captains in whatever way you want. You don't even have to obviously have that buggy menu that it sometimes has if you just have the normal FPL website. This is a Google Chrome extension for any of you who are interested. But yeah, tell me if you like it, and if not, I'll just revert back to what I had before. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.